Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Poison Akami here, just me, myself, and I, back at it again with another video. And today we're going to be doing a tier list on the Naruto Storm game. Here I actually have the games listed down here. They're not in order down here, but the order that we're going to put them on the tier list is Storm 1, then 2, then Generations, then 3, then Revolution, then 4. Basically the order in which they got released. And then I'm going to go through each game, explain to you why I put them in the tier that I did, what I liked, what I disliked about the games, and then basically just go from there. And then you guys obviously will disagree with me. A lot of you will probably agree with me. And then I like you guys to tell me in the comment section. This is like a conversation. This is a way for me to interact with you guys on YouTube. I would like you guys to get talking. Basically, it's a topic that we're talking about. A lot of us are probably bored these days as we're, all supposed to be staying inside. So let's talk Storm. Let's talk about our favorite games. We're all Storm gamers, right? So a lot of us started around Storm 2 area, probably Generations. I know that some OGs started in Storm 1, played every game since, and some people started in Revolution slash Storm 3, and then there's the very rare people that actually started from Storm 3 and onwards. So but all of you can still have an opinion. All of you can still talk about the games that you were in, like and above. So, like, I want all of you guys to tell me what you think of your opinions on this, and then yeah, just let's just talk to each other about it, right? First game was Storm 1, so I'm gonna put it there for now. So Storm 1, I actually quite liked. For its first Storm game, it was really good. It had a variety of mechanics. The character selection was really good. It had like pretty much all the PTS characters that we know now, all the teams, and even Gaara's team. And then it had the Jonin, like Kakashi, Guy, Asuma, and it had Itachi and Kisame playable. And then they had DLC for support characters such as the first and second Hokage, Sound 4, and then like Kurenai, and I think Shizune as well. Pretty good game. I put it in C tier because of the whole wall running aspect and fighting on the walls, like that was great. I'm going to put it low down though because the story mode for it was really long. It was his first ever game ever for the Storm series, and can you not? Jesus, that actually scared me, dude. Anyway, Storm was like, it was really long for story mode. Like, it was just way too long. It gets really oversaturated. Obviously at the time it was fun, but it's not a game you'd ever voluntarily replay, I don't think, because of just how long it was. Just nah, not about that. But yeah, I really liked it. The fighting game mechanics were good. Like back then, the reason why I put it so down low is because the mechanics weren't great. Like to sub, you had to like mash the L2 and R2 button, and it takes a tiny bit of your chakra. Like you didn't have like the substitution bar like you do now. Like you didn't have 4 subs. Your subs were your chakra, so your chakra is used for like jutsus and subs. But it's pretty cool because the ultimate jutsu thing was pretty cool because when you land on ultimate jutsu, you had to put down like a series of buttons. It's pretty similar to like the PS2 Naruto games, the Naruto Ultimate Ninja games, where you had to do that. So that's kind of an interesting aspect. It didn't have online mode, unfortunately. Storm 1 didn't play online, so if you ever want to play against another person, you'd invite them around your house or you go around their house and you literally play Storm 1 that way. But yeah, I think overall I'm going to put Storm 1 on C tier, because it's not amazing. It's not a game that really people talk about. It's not fantastic. It's just an average Storm game. A nice little kickstarter to the series, you know. It was decent graphics for its time, really good introduction to the Storm series, and then that's when CC2 were encouraged to make Storm 2. Storm 2 obviously being about Naruto Shippuden, as Shippuden is in the title, so this takes place from the very starting of Shippuden, from when Naruto comes back to the village, and then he fights Pain, and then it does take place a little bit after Pain, because after Pain fight, there is the Takasasuke versus Killer B fight, and then I think the game ended around there, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's talk about that. So I'm actually going to put Storm 2 in B tier below Storm 1. The reason why is because I felt it kind of flopped in some assets. So story mode was actually better than Storm 1 in my opinion. It was quicker to do, not as much of a problem as well. Like it was much easier to do. It's just with Storm 2, I just feel like for the offline play, them taking out the whole wolf running and wolf fighting scenario is probably the downfall. I wouldn't want it in... To be honest, I wouldn't really want it in online matches though. Like, because with how glitchy the games can be, like, you know, clipping out of maps and stuff and doing stuff that shouldn't be done, I can just see some major opportunity for bad glitches to come for Storm for like wall running and wall glitches and like stuff like that, like wall fighting. So, but yeah. Another thing is like they've taken out like minor aspects of the fighting. So in Storm 1 there was this thing where you could actually like do a flip and kick them while they're down, and it drains a bit more of their chakra. It does very little damage. They've taken that out of Storm 2. And then with Storm 2, they've taken out the combination of buttons. So when you're doing the ultimate jutsu, it just cuts straight to the ultimate jutsu. But you know, it was an exciting factor. I can see why they did it. I think it's fun for story mode, maybe. Obviously they had the cuts, the quick time events, but I do miss some aspects of Storm 1, but I can see why. So another reason why I really didn't like Storm 2, right, is the whole Daedra fight. Not the Daedra fight in the story mode, I mean just fighting Daedra online. So you didn't have the tools needed to fight Daedra. Like, you could chakra dash up to him and you could combo him and get the first sub wasted, but then he subs and he continues mashing square in the air, and then you're forced to sub but you can't chakra dash or anything. Like, you have to just like take it or wait till you drop to the floor or whatever. Like, you couldn't dash him, air combo him, have him sub, and then chakra dash again, because chakra dash cancels weren't a thing. You couldn't chakra dash cancel, and then subbing was still the same. You still had to mash R2 and L2, and it just, I think Storm 2 really opened our eyes online when players were playing online and showing us like how we were powered, because people will pick like Daedra, Ino as the cover fire because she had her poison flowers, and then like Choji or pain support. Daedras were like untouchable back then. They were absolutely awful. You know, characters like Sasuke, Minato, and like the cool characters, they couldn't really do much, and it was a shame, really. It sucked. So I don't really have much else to say about Storm 2. It was my first actual Storm game. I actually went to Storm 1 a little later down my line, played it for a short while, but yeah, Storm 2, my first ever Storm game. But I'm gonna have to put it on the bottom of the tier list. I wouldn't put it anywhere higher just for these reasons. Okay, so next game was Generations. Generations, we'll just put it here for now. Gens was really fun, really good. Gens was the birth of like competitive and the birth of like creativity for a Naruto Storm fighting game. So the fact that Naruto Storm is like a 3D fighting game is enough great content as it is. The fact that Generations added these core mechanics, so they added cancels. Cancels are so important in a fighting game. The ability to be able to cancel from one thing and then go into the next just adds way more depth and creativity to the game than ever before. So with Generations, I'm actually going to put it into I'm going to put it in B tier. So I put it in B tier because compared to Storm 1 and Storm 2, its story mode is much quicker. It's cutscenes. How it was like pictures, right? So you had pictures and then you had the narration of like voice acting and stuff, which was really cool. It was easy to watch, easy to go through. It wasn't a pain in your ass. It took just a couple of hours just to do the whole story, get all the characters unlocked. It was really easy. Generations was great because, like, I'll get into mechanics now. So the mechanics were much better than Storm 1 and Storm 2. They added chakra dash cancels, the ability to combo and then cancel your combo with chakra dash, just added for a much more aggressive and faster pace of play. They added the substitution bar, so you had 4 subs a piece. Use that; it was binded to the LT button. This way, you can sub attacks without having to waste your chakra and without having to mash your guard and sub, you know, your R2 and LT button like a maniac. Because that's what people do. People in Storm 1, Storm 2, in the neutral game, they would just spam it because fear, I guess. They had the ability to cancel out of your combo, and then you can cancel ninja moving with tilts and grabs. So this was a fun aspect because you could literally combo out of your combo, go technically straight into a tilt or a grab, and just branch out into different combo opportunities with your supports. So much more fun that way. And then another thing you could do is that you can actually jump out of your tilts. So you can cancel your tilts and then do whatever you want. So an example that I used to do in Generations was I would do Jiraiya's tilt, I'd hit the 2 frog hops, jump out of the last frog hop, and then into an ultimate jutsu. Guaranteed ultimate jutsu because of the stun. So there was a problem to that. So people were abusing some of the tilt spam. So you could do Danzo tilt spam, I don't think it was much of a problem back then because you could dash through it, but then there was the characters that had the hitbox surrounding them. So Choji tilt spam, Sakura tilt spam, PTS Kankuro tilt spam were annoying. On the neutral game, Minato's tilt spam was pretty good, like doing the kunai over and over again, because if you miss or they dash through the kunai, it's cool because you jump and chakra dash away, or you know, like you just jump and block in the air. They made air blocking was really overpowered. Like blocking in the air was still bad because it was still weak in regard. Like, that was always the thing. But yeah, it was a fact of people were bunny hopping a lot. Like I remember when like people started playing competitively and started doing clan battles and stuff, and like first to fives, first to tens, or whatever like competitive sets they wanted to do in Storm, they would always limit themselves to be like, right, okay guys, PTS 1010, Onoki, Hidan, Kimimaro is banned, Maskman's banned. The majority of the Naruto and Sasuke's are banned. If you want to use Naruto and Sasuke, use the PTS versions. they were like that. Some people would even go as far as banning Sakura and Tsunade just for their jutsus. Because you'd have them as support, the jutsus would be terrible. You know, people would actually go as far as to ban stuff like that. And then they'd say, some people, I remember being in clan battles that were as bad as, you can only use jutsu 3 times. If you use a jutsu more than 3 times, you're spamming and you take an L. You can't bunny hop too much. You're not allowed to bunny hop. You're supposed to walk ninja move. You can bunny hop sometimes, but not too much. It's like, the rules were so stupid. It was legit play, you know, that's how you play legit back in Generations, and it was stupid. The reason why is because the community was just so scarred by like the PTS 1010 spam, the Onoki spam, you know, the Tushikage spam, the Maskman spam. Everyone was just scarred by it, and then like when you get hit by like the odd jutsu, like the Inferno style jutsu, you'd sub in the same place. Like subbing in Generations was awful. Like the people who still watch me, who played Generations back in the day, like you guys will know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, Playco will know what I'm talking about. Like Reanimation Hero will know what I'm talking about. I'm sure Dark Mask, all the old players, like all my old boys from back in the day, you will all know what I mean when the subbing was absolute trash tier. You sub in the same place, like you get hit by Inferno Fire style, right? You sub in the same place, and then it had multiple hitboxes, so you get hit, so you'd have to sub again. The thing would hit you 4 times, and you could waste like 3 subs. Garbage, absolutely garbage. Hated it, terrible. And then like Pains and White Push had multiple hitboxes. If you subbed it and then you went back into it, you get hit again and still take damage. Yeah, they gave that Almighty Push to Nagato later on in the later games. But yeah, dude, yeah, it was awful back then. But yeah, Generations, obviously, because you could chakra that. So like, say like you got the scenario of a Data spammer in the air. So he's in the air, he's mashing the birds. You dash through, you combo, he subs, you mash square again. You chakra dash cancel your combo because chakra dashes were given to us. You beat Daedra that way. I've beaten Daedras, right, just through chakra dash cancelling alone. I've wasted no subs. I've had a Daedra go from 4 to 0 subs. I've kept all 4 of my subs. I've wasted a lot of chakra, but as soon as he drops down to the ground, you drop down to the ground, you absorb the chakra that he had, you dash in, you combo the fuck out of them. They rage quit. Happy days. That's literally how it was back then. So yeah, Generations I put in B tier. Like I said, the meta was very limited because the meta was 1010, Tushikage, Maskman, Kimimaro, Hidan, PTS, Gaara, Sakura, and Awakenings. It wasn't a lot. Considering how many characters got added into the game, because this is when Danzo got added into the game, the Kage got added into the game, they expanded the story a little bit more, which added opportunity for Kid Obito, Kid Kakashi. They added so many characters in the game, and Naruto had a large roster of characters. It was exciting. It was a great time for us Naruto players. But it still had its issues, which is why I'm putting it in B tier. Again, guys, if you have any of the opinions on this stuff, please do tell me in the comments down below. These, like, talking about these is actually a very interesting topic, and I'd be happy to talk about it with you guys. So next game is Storm 3. So Storm 3, I'm putting it there for now. I'm not leaving it there. Actually, no, I know where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in A tier. The reason why I put it in A tier, story mode, it was still like an adventure roaming game, which, you know, you roam like the 3D world. It's okay. It's all right. But the reason why I liked it is because it was much faster than Storm 1 and Storm 2. Like, Storm 1 and Storm 2 felt long. Storm 1 was longer, Storm 2 was long. Storm 3 was quicker to do. like, it wasn't much of a problem. So let's get into the mechanics. So, like I said before with Naruto, CC2 likes to take out mechanics. I've mentioned this in previous videos. So in Storm 3, they've taken out the ability to jump out of your tilts. You can still cancel your combos into tilts and into grabs. So I remember I used to do Ino's full down combo and then do it into her grab, and into her tilt, but I couldn't then do her tilt and then back out again. So that was like the problem. So Storm 3, yeah, they've taken out that ability. I think they improved the subbing in this game. It wasn't as bad, I don't think, if I can remember rightly. I think they actually fixed it to be a little better. And this is where people got upset. So they've taken out all 4 combos. Back in the previous games, like Generations, Storm 1, Storm 2, they had all 4 combos. So you had your neutral combo where you mash circle is a neutral combo. You had your side combo where you hold the direction of the analog stick backwards or forwards, and then you could do a side combo, up combo, and then your down combo. They've taken out the side combo. So when I say this, they actually taken out the ability to hold the side button, like the side analog stick while smashing. However, what they did for a lot of the characters, so Haku is an example, and I remember some other characters as an example, they taken their old side combos from previous games and made it their neutral. And some characters, they scrapped the side combo entirely. Some characters, their side combos been made into down combos been made into side. So they actually started swapping combos. Up combos were always the same, and like I said, the majority of the characters were barely touched. All they had was their side combos taken away. But some characters, they actually decided, like CC2 were like, nah, this combo seems cooler than this one, we're gonna keep it. They were wrong. There were so many cool combos that they taken out that I'm so upset with. Like, I remember in Generations, Shino's side combo, his Bug's side combo, was way cooler than anything else, and they've taken it out. And they actually fully hit on confirm, but taken it out. It is kind of a downfall. So Storm 3 I actually found better because you couldn't jump out of your tilt. However, they added a cool, stylish, and creative thing called relays. Relays were this thing where you held the circle button, or B if you're on Xbox, your character would jump back and glow yellow, and then when you release the button, they'd go forward like a short chakra dash instance. We'll say like a 10-10 chakra dash. Those of you who played the old games will know what I'm talking about. Older 10-10 had the worst chakra dash, and so did Daedra. Terrible. So they go about that distance, probably a lot worse than the chakra dashes actually. And if they hit the character, the character they hit will then get stunned, and then you can use your supports to then knock them up into the air. Another support will come down, knock them down into the air. They bounce off the floor for an opportunity to land an Ultimate Jitsu and an opportunity to do a free Jitsu. It was an opportunity. It's basically like a combo setup, right? Like a teamwork combo setup thing, and it was a really fun thing. However, the competitive and the pro players of this game, we never used the relay for that purpose. We use relays to cancel everything. Now you're probably saying to me, like those of you who didn't play Storm 3, how could you cancel everything with this? CC2 still made shuriken cancels a thing, so you can cancel combos with shurikens, you can cancel tilts with shurikens. So when doing shurikens, you can actually cancel out the shuriken animation into relays. So those of you who want to know what I'm talking about, just on YouTube, just type in relay cancels and you will see what I mean, or relay cancel tutorial, and you'll see the whole concept. So what you do is, in neutral game, if you want shuriken, as soon as you press square, hold circle. Depending on how quickly you hold circle, you might not even see the shuriken come out. Or as soon as the shuriken gets thrown, you instantly cancel into the relay. And then from relay, you can cancel the first instance of the relay where you jump back by blocking. What I used to do, I used to just spam relay. I used to hold circle and then just mash block. And Ino would just be like, ha, 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 and just jump back constantly. And it was the funniest thing. So that's where things got interesting. So This way you could do multiple tilts. You could do Danzo tilt spam again. You could do Minato tilt spam, but it looks cooler because your character jumps back, glows yellow, does the action again. It was just sick. Absolutely, it's just visually amazing to look at. Everyone loved doing the relay cancels. Relay cancels were fun. They were fun to do, and it was a great opportunity for setups. With Eno, I could do a lot better combo opportunities. So with Eno, I do her full down combo, cancel the down combo into tilt, and then shuriken cancel, relay cancel, and then I would relay cancel the I couldn't guard cancel the relay because there wasn't enough stun, so I had to chakra dash cancel the relay back into the combo. Now you're probably saying, Yama, why would you do that? Like, why would you chakra dash cancel? Why don't you just chakra dash cancel the combo? No, because remember what I said in one of my previous guides. Do not chakra dash cancel out of combos. Jump, then chakra dash, because if you chakra dash cancel, it takes too much chakra. That's why. So the thing is, players were getting much smarter in this game. We were getting a lot more creative with our combos, and this is where styling probably was at its peak. It was at its best because instant awakening was a fun thing. So if you had a character like me, so Eno could instant awakening and relay cancel. Like obviously all characters could instantly awaken, all characters could like relay cancel, but having the ability to relay as well as instant awakening, oh my god, the things you could do were absolutely ridiculous. The things I could do with Eno, I could in neutral, right, poison flower, instant awaken cancel, jutsu, cancel out of that. Shuriken relay into another jutsu. The style, the finesse you could do was absolutely ridiculous. You know how OP Shino was in this game? This was the game where Shino was born. I'm telling you, dude. The things you could do, you could chakra kunai like pressure, and then while the insects are pressuring the block, you just instant awakening, grab, just out of nowhere. You know, like get the max damage in, get the chakra like drain, and then just while you're still in instant awakening, you know, just bugs and then cancel that with chakra bugs. Go back into neutral, chakra insect, dude. Shino was ridiculous. And then tilt cancel, and then relay out the tilts. You know, just I could guys, I could talk forever about how amazing Storm 3 was. And then Storm 3 was also an introduction to air tilts. Now, I don't think air tilts wasn't an intended mechanic. So air tilting was actually in Generations, Storm 2 and Storm 1. You could literally just jump in the air and then ninja move and then tilt, because you could cancel ninja moving with tilting, right? So just do it in the air. It was a lot more of a thing in Storm 3 because you could double jump and do it. So it looked more apparent that way. I'm sure people done it on accident in Generations, but it was never really brought to light. No one really talked about it. It became more of a subject in Storm 3 back in PS3 or Xbox 360. Storm 3 was amazing, so I put in A tier for those reasons. Its competitive was good and it was great. A lot of us still had the legit mindset, but the legit wasn't as bad. People weren't banning as much bad stuff. People were allowing a lot more things. People weren't as snowflakey as before. So I give Storm 3 a good A tier. Decent story mode. Online fighting was pristine, absolutely fun, no problems at all. Ranking was fun, you know. Storm 3 was a great time, good times, like nostalgia, pure nostalgia, fun times. Cool. Okay. So next we have Naruto Revolution. So where do I want to put Revolution? I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now this is where the controversy might start. Revolution was a controversial game for many. It was a great game in terms of characters. I love it. As someone who loves unlocking characters in games and playing the variety of characters, it was great for me. Shisui got introduced, Konohamaru got introduced, Iruka, Kushina, a different iteration of Madara, Obito, a different iteration of Kakashi, new combos, I know, the Mecha Naruto, like, we had all sorts. They brought back all the PTS characters and the supporting characters. Revolution was a great time. They brought back the Storm League. Revolution was made to be competitive. They wanted it to be competitive. It was a great time for Storm. They'd taken out mechanics, so they'd taken out relays. So the animation of relay actually got put into something else. So the animation of it and the look of it, like the design of relay, got put into the guard break pill. So the up item that we see nowadays is the guard break pill. And that got introduced in Revolution. That was when the character would glow yellow, jump back, but when they hit, it would be an automatic guard break whether they were blocking or not, and they remain guard broken, which allows you to get a few hits in. That was okay. Like, people were upset that the relays were gone, but we adjusted. We got over it. Like, we cried for a while, but we got over it. And then we found counters. So counters were there to get past the guard break pill and chakra dashing and combos. You counter a character when their hitboxes are active on you. You can counter them. Counters were terrible back then because no one liked it, because you remained unconscious for a long time. Like, you get knocked unconscious and you're just stood there for a long time, just stood there doing nothing. A Revolution Sasuke, so Rev Sasuke, like EMS Sasuke back then, he was like the meta, right? He could land 2 full neutral combos on you before he could sub. Disgusting. It was awful. You'd have to keep the hits going because it was a guard break thing, so you can't just do a few hits and cancel out, otherwise you're letting them go. But yeah, counters back then I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't like them at all. No one did, actually. They were hated so much and got such a bad rep that when they brought out a patch for the game, they reduced the time of the counter stun in half. So that was like the main negative. That's why it doesn't belong in S tier for me. A lot of you would bring the counter. I know a lot of you would put Revolution down here, or even as far as here, just for the counters. But I wouldn't go that far. I would put it in A tier because, again, the characters. You still had possibilities in combos. We had new characters. Bro, Shisui was released in this game. Of all the new characters, I'd say Shisui and probably Edo Minato were the 2 greatest new characters to come into this game. Really made the game great. When Shisui came out in this game, he was on my most used characters because he was just amazing. I was always a Shisui fan before Revolution came out. When I was reading the manga of Storm and looking at the filler episodes and stuff when Naruto came out, and when Naruto Shippuden, sorry, I saw Shisui, I was in love with that guy. And the fact that they actually brought him in and they explained the whole thing with him and Danzo and everything. Love Shisui, hated Danzo, was a major Shisui fan. So let's get into it with Revolution. So they're taking out mechanics. So you could still at the time you can still kunai cancel, shuriken cancel out things. The relay cancels were gone. You couldn't cancel your ninja movements with tilts and grabs anymore, so you could no longer combo, jump out, and then tilt and grab. If you try to do that, you just do a full ninja move and then grab until at the end of the ninja move. So that's where they took out those mechanics. Everything else was still in, so chakra dash cancel was still in the game. They nerfed chakra dashing, so they made them slower. So when you chakra dash in the air, your character would do a little spin and then go in, like as if it was like a ninja dash. It would still be faster than a ninja dash, but chakra dashing was slower than Storm 3 chakra dashing. So there was that thing. People had an issue with that, but we adapted. Counter dashing was still a thing. Counter dashing and counter hitting, the option to block in the air and dash instantly, or block on the ground and dash instantly, or block in the air and hit was still an option. So we still abused that, obviously. Instant Awakening was still in the game. So as I mentioned, Storm 3 Instant Awakening was great. But I think the reason... So Revolution was like... I think it was like a punishment system for us, because I think CT2... So a lot of you probably don't remember this, or those of you who played Storm 3 as actively as I did will know what I'm talking about. At the end of Storm 3, the CC2 staff and Bandai staff in America and Japan were actually coming onto the game and playing us. And they were seeing what we were doing. Like, they were seeing that we were abusing Instant Awakening and we were abusing relay cancels in Storm 3. And because we could abuse Instant Awakening, because as soon as you got out of your Instant Awakening, the bar would fill up just as fast as it was depleting. So we could spam it over and over and over and over again. And we would never have our Instant Awakening chakra bars depleted, ever. Like, we would just go to town. So in Revolution, they made it so that if you went into Instant Awakening and you went back out of Instant Awakening, your bar would stop for like 2 to 3 seconds, and then it would re-heal. So this means that we couldn't spam Instant Awakening as much as we wanted to. We could actually still use it a lot. It's like, surprisingly, like, if you go back and watch old Revolution videos of like us playing, we still use Instant Awakening a lot. It's just you couldn't abuse it as much as what you could in Storm 3. So in Revolution, this is where they introduced a new mechanic, which I actually quite like quite a lot. So they introduced the Ultimate Jutsu mechanic, the Awakening mechanic, and the Support Drive mechanic. These mechanics were separated. They were never used together in one character. So when you choose your character, you can choose what type you want to play as. You can choose the Ultimate Jutsu type, where you can use their Ultimate Jutsus. You can do combo cancels into Ultimate Jutsus. If you're like a combo heavy player and you want to get a combo and you see the sub coming back and you want to get the max damage, cancel Insuramo Jutsu, go ahead. You know, Itachi was good for that, and you know, Sasuke was good for that. Like Kirin Sasuke, you know, any character I could cancel. Minato, they were all great for that. And then Instant Awakening. This made characters that couldn't Instant Awakening in Storm 3, because not all characters could Instant Awaken. Like, who couldn't Instant Awaken in Storm 3? Hanzo couldn't Instant Awaken in Storm 3. Kirin Sasuke couldn't. Like, not a lot of the Sasuke's could actually Instant Awakening in Storm 3. They were now made Instant Awakening characters in Storm 3. Itachi couldn't Instant Awakening in Storm 3. You could Instant Awaken with Itachi in Revolution. There was this nasty damage output in Revolution where you could do Itachi's Instant Awakening tilt alongside Shizui's damage. It would take a whole bar. I don't know why, just a whole bar of health. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then there was the support drive type where you could have your support characters attack. So you can have the support drive in 2 modes when you're playing. Attack mode, where when you're comboing, your support characters jump in and they do extra hits with you like they did in Storm 3. Or you can have them into guard type, where whenever, you know, it's basically dash cut. Like whenever someone dashes you, they jump in and block the dash for you. When there was actual meta, so it took till Revolution for people to drop the legit mindset. You know, everyone played hardcore, the game's core self. This is where you've seen a lot of dash cut action, you know. People were kind of using Tamari and then support drive, but not much, because whenever like that would happen, Tamari would then jump in and then get knocked back, and then you couldn't spam her as chakra kunai. But it was support drive was still used a lot competitively, because you can then, when you're combo, flick your analog stick into attack, they then instantly jump down and combo with you, and then when you're in neutral game, you switch back to guard. I never actually used this. I used Instant Awakening. So my meta, and people who knew I peaked in Revolution, like I got really good, I used Shino. Because I was a Shino main since Storm 3, and Ino main. And then I was a bit of an Ino main in Revolution. They made her a bit bad though. But I used Shino a lot, right? And then his Instant Awakening with Shino was ridiculous. Because after the patch, people would kind of allow counters. Like, I joined tournaments where the rules were no rules. Death matches. Use everything the game offers you. We're like, okay, cool. I picked Shino. I can't remember what teams I picked. I think it might have been like Shino and Torone, just to be fun. Or I probably picked like Shino, Naruto, and whoever else. I can't remember what my supporters were, but Shino was always the one. And whenever I dash in, I dash and I cancel. I bait like counters and I just insects. Or I'd run to them and I'd flare my chakra, and then I'd let them counter, I'd wait, and then insect. Insects just won, and then other people even tried to counter insects. You know, insects were just dominant. And then the thing was with Revolution that they took out in Storm 4, which I'm really annoyed with, was, and Storm 3 had this too, was the ninja moving. The ninja moving was safe in Revolution. Now the reason why it was safe is, if any of you can see any recording of me in Revolution, just go back and watch me carefully. I would ninja move. You can cancel the ending animation of your ninja move. So in Storm 4, when you ninja move, you can't cancel it with anything. You wait for them to go back to neutral, like they ninja move and go back to neutral. You can cancel this in Revolution by jumping. You can jump cancel straight into block. So Revolution, you could always give your opponent a false mindset, thinking that you're unsafe, by ninja moving and jumping and guarding. And I made use of this so much, because then I cancelled them. I mean, because I jump guard, and then I punish them because they hit my block by air combos, and I waste subs. And it was great, because then I chakra dash, they chakra dash, we clash, I go back to neutral, I would ninja move and jump, the same thing would happen again. And bro, honestly, I would abuse this, and I wouldn't tell anyone about it. I just quietly do it and just win matches, and it was hilarious. And then they took out in Storm 4. I was upset. But yeah, Revolution was great fun. I peaked in that game. Hawaii selection of characters was still competitively viable in my game. I felt that the meta was at a good range. You could pretty much pick Omojutsu, Instant Awakening, and Support type. I felt that Instant Awakening and Support drive was more overpowered than the Omojutsu because of the possibilities in the neutral game that you can do with it. Obviously, using your Omojutsu in neutral game doesn't work, so for neutral game type aside, I'd say those two were the stronger elements. But yeah, man, Revolution for me, great game. Great game. Okay. Storm 4. Isn't he going to put that in S tier? The reason why is because it's where I'm at my best in Storm. Obviously. So, it's going to be a thing. with each game that come out, even if they did release another Storm game, which I might make a topic on in a video because I actually have a thought process on a future Storm game. It's not the fact that there will be a future Storm game. It's my thoughts on what if, and I'll talk about that in another video. If you guys want to see that, and you want me to talk to you about that, and you guys want to tell me your opinions on that, leave a comment below, and I may make a video on that because I have some interesting stuff to talk about that. So with Storm 4, I love this game. When Storm 4 came out, at first I was quite upset. I was quite annoyed. They'd taken out my mechanic of the ninja move and then cancelled the ninja move ending frames into safety. They'd taken that out. What else did they do? To begin with, the counter dashing and counter hitting in the air was still a thing. Then they nerfed that. They've taken that out entirely. They've taken out assets of the game. Obviously, Instant Awakening was gone and things like that. Then they added support types to the characters, so characters were set support types. This does make the game competitive. Like, this does increase the game's competitive value. So that was cool, I guess. At first, I wasn't getting along with it. They did charge tracker dashes and stuff like that. So at first, like, I was mixed opinions. Like, I was enjoying the game because I was winning still, and I was doing very well. But at the same time, I had to change my style because from how I played in Revolution, I had to completely switch up in Storm 4. Like, it was, I love the feeling I get when I play a new Storm game, guys. Like, when a new Storm game comes out, it's refreshing. Like, those of you who are in the Storm community and know like Kotakoi and them, like those guys who are making Jev, like Storm Jev is like a mod of Revolution with Generations of Revolution mechanics. I play that sometimes because the feeling of a new Storm game is phenomenal. I love it. It's refreshing. It's great. So with Storm 4, I had that feeling. It was great. Like, I felt new. But Ino wasn't very good in this game, but I still used her a lot. Obviously, she's still number one on my character usage because I'm stubborn. They took out shuriken cancels in this game, so you no longer have the ability to use characters like Deidara and Shino, do their circle combos and then cancel into kunai, or their combos. That's been taken out. It's really unfortunate because that was a good asset in Revolution, and they took that in Storm 4, so I was upset with these things. But let's get into all the really things I like about Storm 4. I'll tell you now why I love Storm 4 and why it's at the top. Story mode, very simple. It's not free roaming anymore. It's literally a menu, a timeline, and you click on the mission you gotta do it, and go to the next one. You can watch and listen to the cutscene, but if you had already watched the anime, you could skip it, which is what I did, because I read the manga and the anime, so I didn't really need to see it. I just went ahead and through the story and just played and just destroyed it all, unlocked all the characters, and played online. So let's talk about. So yeah, story mode was good in my opinion. I like the story mode. I had more fun playing the story mode there. And the cinematics and everything with the rampaging Obito was great. I had more fun with that than every game. So let's talk about the characters. They introduced some more characters. So all the characters they brought back, and then they introduced some new ones. These new ones being like rampaging Obito. What else did they add? They added like Sage 6 Pass Madara, Jubito as well, Kaguya. Although Kaguya isn't liked by many, they made the Sound 4 Ninja playable, and then the Road to Naruto characters, more iterations of Naruto's and Sasuke's. We got thousands of Naruto's, thousands of Sasuke's to choose from. It's ridiculous. They updated Hinata and Sakura's moveset. They made him a little bit faster, which I enjoyed. And overall, with the characters, they did make movesets faster. I did enjoy this. They added Hanabi to the roster. She wasn't great, but when we had the exploit of counter stun, and we would counter stun people, Hanabi had a counter stun in her down combo, which I used, so I was using Hanabi a lot. She was even on my character usage rate for a short while. But then, yeah, patches came out for Storm 4. They'd taken out counter stun, they'd taken out counter dashing, counter hitting, and they'd taken out a lot of stuff. It still made fun. Storm 4 was great when it first came out because they had the support combo, like the long support combo. Then they've taken that out. They had infinite items. Dude, I was actually a fan of infinite items. I loved infinite items because I could just do endless paper bombs, and the damage I get from the endless paper bombs were ridiculous. And then they took that The thing is like you can notice that I'm getting happy about a lot of things. They took it out, but I'm still happy because with Storm 4, I feel it is a very competitively viable game. I think out of all the games that are out right now in Storm, I would choose Storm 4 competitively over all of them. Revolution's a close one, but I would still choose Storm 4 over it. And Storm 3 is close. It's just, again, the same as Generations. The meta was very limited. Like, you always saw Akatsuchi support Hanzo, like Pain, I guess. Like, I don't know. It wasn't very good. But Storm 4, I find that the meta is a lot more varied. When you're seeing competitive matches, you're seeing more characters, and that's what I want to see. When I see meta, I want to see lots of characters. I just don't want to see people using the same teams over and over. I want to see lots of different stuff. And when I see first to 10s and first to 5s and even like clan battle, I mean people don't really clan battle anymore these days, but like when I'm seeing these competitive sets, I'm seeing variety, and that's what I like about Storm. It's variety. The best of players are beating decent players with low tier characters. Like, I've beaten a lot of people with PTS Sakura, and I've opened a lot of people's eyes with PTS Sakura. She seems terrible, but she can be added to the variety. She's so safe. Like, and I would beat them over and over again. Like, Storm 4 is a good opportunity. Like, they made characters faster, and this was a positive for Storm 4 because with that, they increased the speed of things. They increased the speed of Hashirama and Jiraiya, two very slow characters. Suigetsu even. Suigetsu can now have an infinite in his third hit, kind of. Like, with the speed that they've given us in Storm 4, they made the game much faster and much more viable to me. Jiraiya being so safe on block was interesting, and this is a game where they actually taken away a lot of characters' safety on block. You couldn't gel with characters on block anymore, but characters like Jiraiya are still fun to play, still possible to win. He has an overpowered awakening. If you're doing bad with him neutral, awaken, take off that health. Like, this is what I mean. Storm 4 has got lots of options, lots of possibilities to win intense matches. They added character switching. Yeah, we had instant awakening taken away and other assets of previous Storm games taken away, but I think the leader switching really makes up for it. We've found much more opportunities, a lot more branches of techniques and moves into gameplay of this. Being able to play 3 of your favorite characters in one match rather than having all 3 of your favorite characters but playing one of them and the 2 just do a jutsu. You know? Like, that's what it was in the past. Like, in Revolution, I could pick Ino, Shino, and I don't know. Ino, Shino, and Naruto, a team I like. Or Ino, Shino, and Shikamaru. But Shikamaru and Shino would always have to remain as supports. Because Ino is bad as a support, so I'd have to use her as a main. But in this game, I could use all 3 of them together as mains and switch in and out as and when I please. Kind of. Obviously, there's the switching gauge, so it doesn't get abused. But I feel for me, the leader switching is a great mechanic that I'm a fan of. In the future, I'm actually going to be making a video on leader switching and how I leader switch, kind of like a guide to it. It's not going to be like an official professional guide because I've actually come to the understanding that people can switch in different ways by analyzing everybody and comparing people to myself. So I'm going to be doing a guide on how I do it and how I succeed with it. And because I get the question a lot is how do you switch? Why should I switch like this? How do you switch so well? How do you make it effective? And I'll be getting into that like later down the line. But Storm 4, in my opinion, probably the best game. It's got the most characters. Obviously, it should do because of it's hit the end of the Shippuden story. It should feature all the characters. Unfortunately, they haven't brought back supporting only characters. Like they've made every character there playable. I think CC2 understood that when they teased us with supporting only characters, it was pissing a lot of people off. So they decided to not even put them back in. They just took them out entirely, which is a bit annoying because I'd like to play as Akano. Not Akano, Anko, sorry. I like to play as Anko, I like to play as Kurenai, I like to play as Shizune. I want to play as those guys, but I can't. But still, Storm 4 in my opinion is the best game. It's the game where I learned the most, I've experienced the most, I put the most hours into. Like, I'm on 10k wins in Storm 4. Generations I was in like 7k wins. Storm 2 I was on like 1000, 2000 wins. Revolution I think I hit 8, 9k wins. I think the reason why I didn't ever hit like the 10k mark in any other games is because games were getting released after. Storm 4 has been out for 4 years now, so it's normal to hit 10k wins. And that's actually surprising for me, because I sat in a lot of endlesses. So, considering the amount of endlesses I've been in and stuff, just sitting in there for hours in endlesses and training with people, I've actually put a lot of hours into Storm 4. I remember about like a year ago, PlayStation did this thing where they're like, oh, how many hours did you put into a game? And I think at the time back then, I put like 2,600 and something hours into the game at that time, which is amazing. It's probably on like 4,000 something now, or like 3,000 something now. I don't know, but I put a lot of hours into Storm 4. But yeah, man, Storm 4 probably my best game for the reasons listed. Great characters. I still find the fighting mechanics great. I just find the game viable. I find it fun. I actually enjoy the game. Like, ever since the patch though, like the recent patch, I've been kinda iffy with it. Like, I've been kinda down about it. But I'm adjusting. That's the thing. All we gotta do, guys, is literally adjust. Like, that's all you can do. So yeah, Storm 4, S tier for me. So we'll go over the list again. So D tier is Storm 2, C tier is Storm 1, B tier is Generations, A tier is Storm 3 and Revolution. I don't know if I put it in any particular order. I'd probably say I like Storm 3 over Revolution, maybe. So I guess you would do this, I guess. And then Storm 4 I'd probably put in S tier. Like, that's probably what I would do. So yeah, guys, that's my list. Sorry for the long video. I'm sorry if this is really long. Like, I guess this isn't a video that you had to watch. Like, you can just listen to this and play Naruto, I guess. But yeah, that's my tier list on Storm. That's basically me. That's my Storm games. Again, guys, if you ever want to talk to me about these games, I could talk for hours about the mechanics of Storm and the differences and what I love and everything. I'm a huge fan of the Storm series. But yeah, that's my tier list. Again, I know that a lot of you will probably disagree and a lot of you will agree. That's why I made this video. I want to get you all talking. I want to start up a conversation. I don't want anyone to argue and literally belittle each other. None of you are right. Like, none of us are right. I'm not right about this. It's an opinion. Like, come on. I shouldn't even have to say that. But guys, tell me your opinions. I wanna see what you have to say. Maybe you guys can tell me something I don't know. Like, you know, I love the Storm series, and this is my list. So yeah, it's been your boy Poison Okami. As always, Jeanne.